see this? I don't know if you can see this. This shows you, I just know, there's an example. This was before prostate stuff. They were in Mexico in vacation. 4 months later, a little trip, look at this, what happens to you. Kimmer's first job out of the Marine Corps, working in Valdosta, Georgia, a very special photograph from the Kimmer. Kimmer, I don't know anybody. You know, Dina Galante said, my friend Dina and Tony Garza say, how are you, this has nothing to do with you, said, how do you feel like working with a brilliant act, like a newsmaker? And he certainly is, his income reflects that. I said, there's two easy ways, because there are other comedians to follow me, younger and better looking and more talented. One way, if you have to work with Jim Gossett, you go first, and you get paid out front. In closing, Kimmer and I were playing golf. I won the first set, 6-4. He won the second set, 7-5, but we love golf. So Kimmer was very upset yesterday, ready to call this whole thing off. The fantasy goddess did not come home Friday night. She was gone. This was on Neil Bortz's show. She was gone. So the Kimmer said, he asked the fantasy lady, he said, where were you? Stop me when I exaggerate. The beautiful wife said, honey, I was at my sister's, we were shopping, they live way out in Alpharetta in a big home and everything, and you know what happened? We started drinking wine, and I just ended up sleeping over there with my sister. Kimmer said, you know, you're a liar. I slept with your sister last night, so I know you did. That's a true story. Thank you very much. Aren't we lucky to have one another tonight for this great roast? God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you.
I've been sitting next to Kimmer for the last, 15, 20 minutes, and I could have sworn you're supposed to lose weight when you have cancer. I mean, his ass is hanging off that chair. I mean, it's huge. But he does have the nicest set of tits in Afternoon Drive. Those babies are sweet. I look over there and the nipples, it's amazing. All right, next up, I want to proudly introduce the man, the legend, the king, Chris.
It's a fundraiser, so I thought I'd do something to kind of make a little bit more money for us. So I brought my new book. I'm going to be selling my book after the show. It's How I Beat Anorexia. Yes, indeed. Semper Fi, baby.
Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Oh, thank you, Elvis. Thank you very much. Thank you. Elvis had another little song he wanted me to sing. And now the end is near, and Kimmer faces the final curtain. His friends won't shed a tear, although they know his death is certain. He's had each prostate test, a finger up the Hershey Highway. They'll bury him in his fruit boots so he can die gay. Thank you very much. Elvis, thank you. Thank you. Let's hear it for the real Elvis, though. The real Elvis over here. I guess you know why they call me the king, because I died on the throne. My last words were, man, this tile sure could use some cleaning. We have one more little message. I want to keep this thing moving, but a frequent caller to the Kimmer Show wanted to be a part of the evening, couldn't make it, but did send this brief telegram. Hello, I'm Ted Koppel. And this is constipation. Oh my God. I'm so jealous of Larry and Eric from 96 Rock. You know what I would give to be a regular guy? I'm giving the phrase embedded reporter a whole new meaning. Poor Ted Koppel, he needs to go on a Carnival cruise and get his bowels cleaned out. He needs to have dinner at the Golden Corral, doesn't he? You've been reading about that Golden Corral in Kennesaw? The only credit cards they accept are Blue Cross and Blue Shield. The catch of the day at the Golden Corral is hepatitis C. Georgia's going to do away with lethal injections. There's going to have the last meal served by the Golden Corral. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We're going to bring on our next roaster, a broadcasting legend in Atlanta, a very entertaining guy, a very funny guy in his own right, the host of Atlanta's Morning News. Welcome to the Kimmer Roast in Peace, Tom Hughes, the real king! The real king!
The king! Is this it?
Thank you, Jim. I do have to say, it's not Atlanta's whatever, it's Atlanta's first news.
First news.
Atlanta's first news on News Radio 640 WGST.
The new light.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people think that Kimmer and I don't get along because they take so many shots at me on a daily basis. And it's not true. We have had a long and great relationship. But I do get an occasional chance to get one back at the Kimmer. For instance, it must have been about a month or so ago when Eddie Murphy signed this new $10 million deal to do Shrek 2. He was going to return in Shrek 2. And as I said, $10 million for a talking ass is a lot of money. We get the Kimmer for a hell of a lot less. You know, the Kimmer new radio was for him from the first day he put on headphones. So he put the leaf blower down and went to broadcasting school. But as I said, the Kimmer and I have been friends for a long time, and I'll never forget, and I'm sure the Kimmer won't either, that awful day back in 1997.
Oh, God.
It was my last day on the air at WGST, and Planet Radio was about to launch. And
Jesus.
I'll never forget what the Kimmer said. He said, "Now look, keep your head up. You are the best. You're going to be a great star. And as far as I'm concerned, you are the king." Unfortunately, he was talking to Punnett at the time. How did that work out anyway? But I'm over that.
Yeah. Sure you are.
And I'm thrilled to see the Kimmer looking so well. As Wayne mentioned, you know, there have been some times when we've worried about him.
Yeah.
I don't get into the studio much in the afternoon, but one day I looked in and I said, when did Shelley Winters get a show? Which brings me to the Kimmer again and the way he has handled this whole thing. You know, it proves again, laughter is the best medicine. It's not just a saying, it's the motto of the Clear Channel Health Plan. Elizabeth, you know, you're a beautiful lady and a wonderful woman, and I care more about you than this tough old Marine. And I think you've done a marvelous job putting up with him for all these years and through this. But I'd rather not get into the whole subject of sex and prostate cancer. I'll leave that to others, you know, and I'd never pry in your life at all.
No.
But I do have a very good friend who has come through prostate cancer, and I did finally ask him how things were going with his wife, Maggie, and he said, "Oh, we're great. We're having a wonderful, wonderful time." And I said, "Well, can I ask, do you still have Mutual Climax?" And he said, "Oh, hell no, we're on Aflac now." But finally, I do admire seriously, Kimmer, how you have, and others have mentioned this, dealt with a very serious question, a very serious problem, and opened up your audience to a softer side of the Kimmer that they never knew existed. No pun intended. I mean, you have shown concern for cancer patients that a lot of people are surprised. Specifically, Alzheimer's patients, alcoholics, gays, one-armed war heroes, stroke victims, stutterers, pedophiles. I don't have any more time. I'll post the full list on kimmershow.com. Thank you.
Tom Hughes, the king! From Atlanta's first news. Atlanta's first news. I'm really sorry about that. He's really given the Clear Channel Health Plan a hard way to go. It's not that bad. It's just that if you need an x-ray, they hide you in a suitcase and take you to Hartsfield. Well, this is former President Ronald Reagan.
Hey, Mr. Former President, how's it going?
What day is it? Where am I?
Oh, the Kimmer roast. Thank you very much. Who's he? I can't believe they'd be doing a roast for that bastard Scott Peterson anyway. Oh, the Kimmer, Kim Peterson. Well, I'm not going to do jokes about Kimmer. I'm not going to do that. I won't engage in it, no. Because Kimmer, of course, as we all know, is attached to a machine that keeps him alive. A refrigerator.
You bastard.
I'll never forget hearing about the day that Kimmer had the seeds put in, the implant surgery. The surgeon walked out, grim look on his face, pulled his fantasy goddess aside, and I don't know how to tell you this. I did all I could in there, but he pulled through anyway. No, the fantasy goddess loves the Kimmer, supports him in everything he does. Remember when he took up skydiving a few years? Yes, Elizabeth bought Kimmer a parachute that opens on impact.
Let's hear it for the Grim Reaper right over here.
Grim Reaper. The Grim Man. The Reaper.
Arnold Schwarzenegger said, I didn't think it was the Grim Reaper. I thought it was my wife, Maria Shriver. Maria's doing a guest shot as special guest corpse on CSI. She swallowed an olive. People thought she was pregnant. The woman needs a sandwich. I'm sorry. Tonight's show, of course, is brought to you by the Tri-State Crematory, where you're always at the top of the heap. Tri-State, where the women are really stacked. We're gonna bring. Too busy to cook, come to Tri-State Crematory. We're gonna bring. Now we have an actual crematory here, I think. We're gonna bring on our next roaster, and this is Charlton Heston. I have no idea who that is. Help me, Wayne. Damn it, I'm doing a new movie with Ronald Reagan. It's called The Two Commandments. That's all we can remember. Damn, who's the next roaster? It'll come to me in a couple of hours. They're gonna have to pry this microphone from my cold, dead hand.
The gun, sir.
Of course, my best friend in all the world, and I forgot about him. Our next roaster is a radio host on WGST. He does a show called The Legal Edge. He's a lawyer by trade. He's also a brilliant stand-up comedian. He's opened several shows for me in and outside of Atlanta. Would you welcome Jamie Bendel?
Jamie!
Many people don't know this. As part of the stuff, Jim Gossett often tells me that the station doesn't want to put a lot of money into making the Newsmaker line work the way it should. And I say, Jim, I know. I listen to the show. I understand. Many people don't know that Kimmer is actually about to enter his third term of the Greater Metro Atlanta Nelly Fan Club. In fact, I got a personal email from the which was exciting, and I appreciate. We trade emails back and forth. Many of you write to him just at the show, to the extent that you send in emails, but he obviously has his own personal email address. It's #1 Dixie Chick Fan at Yahoo. And I know that a lot of people don't. He's a private person. He doesn't like to share. Many of you may not know that he served in the military. In fact, the war on terror is so important to the Kimmer. He wants to take the fight to the evildoers. So when he found out that he had the big C, he told his oncologist, listen, I want Osama and Saddam's faces tattooed on the cancer, and all of those tiny seeds wrapped in American flags. So, whatever goes on in the war on terror, whatever you maybe hear on a Newsmaker update, know that every day, one of the important battles in the war on terror occurs in the Kimmer's pants. Every day. Fighting the war on terror, taking it. And how he gets Gossett to do those monthly self-digital rectal exams, I don't know, but he does it. It's important for their relationship. Somebody mentioned Viagra, and I don't know what goes on at Kim's house with the fantasy goddess. Quite frankly, I try to block it out. That's what I'm you should do. But if you've seen those Viagra commercials, and men, you've probably noticed the same thing. The guy walks into the place, and somebody says, Bob, new haircut? No. Bob, did you lose weight? No. Is that a new shirt, Bob? No. And what you don't notice is that they're shooting him only from the waist up. The guy's walked into his office with a boner. That's what I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Bindle from The Legal Edge on News Radio 640 WGST. And since we're working on our weekend, people, you know, I used to have a show on, well, never mind, we'll forget the Sunday show. This is why we don't let Kimmer drink and have buttons. Jesus. All right, coming up next from Atlanta Cooks, host, yes, on News Radio 640 WGST. And the afternoon drive host on Cool 105.7. You know, that used to be our FM signal. Did anybody know that?
I want my FM back.
Absolutely. It's J.J. Jackson!
When I was first invited, I thought when they said Kimmer Roast, they actually meant roast. Roast the Kimmer. So tonight we will actually prepare the Kimmer for a roast. I figure they really want to know how to do it, so I put it together for you. It goes a little bit like this. First, you got to make sure your meat is dead. Not mostly dead, all dead.
All dead.
All dead.
Appreciate
Okay?
it.
Now the biggest problem you run into next is how do you tenderize such an old cut of meat? Let's face it, we're not dealing with a spring chicken here. Oh, maybe we are, I'm sorry. This is really a self-tenderizing piece of meat when you think about it. What you do here is you just use it the way that it is because it's loaded with so much piss and vinegar that it just kind of takes care of it. You throw it in the oven, 350 degrees, 10 hours, the thing is done. That's how you roast a Kimmer, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for the Kimmer.
Thank you.
J.J. Jackson. JJ's Cooking Show can now be heard in 3 markets: Kroger, Harris Teeter, Publix, Piggly Wiggly.
Oh, mercy.
What was that? I don't come to the Waffle House when you're working and interrupt your show. Insulting people who paid $80. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. How is every waitress at the Waffle House able to grow a mustache? I've never been able to figure that. We're going to keep the roast moving with the second half of The Regular Guys, the funniest show in Atlanta. From 96 Rock, Larry from The Regular Guys.
Ho!
Moby couldn't make it.
Hey, got stuck in traffic or some shit. How about that, huh? I want to thank everybody, especially Kimmer, for having me here. I've prepared some remarks.
Uh-oh.
What am I doing here? This is such a festival of losers. What am I going to say for 5 minutes about this guy? Oh, this is death. His show blows. Look out, it's only the Kimmer. Jerk. What an embarrassment to broadcasting. That show is unlistenable. Unlistenable. God. I bust my hump. And he just walks in there, tells bad Jack Parr era jokes to guys in wigs. I tell you what, that Clear Channel better back the Brinks fucking truck for me next year. Pricks. I am fuming. How come nobody has commented on how lousy he is? God. Oh, I feel so dirty. I must have been stoned when I said yes to this gig. Christ. I gotta cut back on that weed. And the booze. And the crack. All right, just the crack. No more crack. Everybody's so nice to him just because he's a Marine. He has a bunch of guns, could go crazy at any moment and kill everyone in the room. So, oh, it's the Kimmer. He's great. I'm the big dog at Clear Channel, damn it. They should be honoring me. Oh, what have I gotten myself into? I've got such a goddamn headache. It's pounding. It's the Kimmer Semper Fi. Semper my ass cheeks. And that Rally for America thing. Oh, what an ego he had. Oh. He thought everyone was cheering for him. Didn't have the heart to tell him his fly was down the whole time. Okay, so his cock doesn't work anymore. All right, whatever. I mean, that aerated putting green of a head, he ain't getting laid anymore. What's up with that dome, dude? God, have some dignity. You don't see me having yard work done on my head. I've got a little pride. Man, his poor wife. She's been through so much. Seems like a nice lady. But what the hell does she see in him? Broken down old sailor with a bad rod. They must have some sort of an arrangement. And that novelty store laugh. Sweet Jesus. Hey, Kimmer, want to go hit some balls? Hey, Kimmer, it's Nixon on the newsmaker line. Blithering idiot. I don't get it, man. Listen to him chortle all night. God, what is that, a defense mechanism? Yeah, that's a great career move, too. Hook up with Gossett and Farber. Surround yourself with aging Georgia comics. Yeah, make a note of that, Lar. Oh, this is absurd. I am roasting a man named Kim. The Kimmer. Like that makes it less gay. Give me a break. Just snap it the fuck off. Kim Kimmer, gay gayer. That's it. Look at these people wearing tuxes. Why would anyone wear a tux to this hackfest? Hey, look out, it's only the Kimmer. Asshole. Oh, this is so beneath me. I've got to get out of here. And that time I saw him at River Pines. Ugh, what a disaster. He's always talking about golf. He golfs like a retard. All right, Larry, suck it up. Whatever. Do it, and we can drink and go home. George Stein will bail us out if any jackpot arises. George Stein, man, how does he live with himself putting all those drunks back on the street? Filthy rich bastard. Vermin. Well, there's Tom Hughes. What is he drinking tonight? Embalming fluid? Nice guy, but Christ, I've seen more life at Ray Brent Marsh's place. That WGST is in some trouble, man. Whew. Sweet Lord. All right, let's do this. Hey, it's only the Kimmer. Hey, shut the fuck up. Okay. Compose. Let's go.
Okay, you know, I don't want to take too long up here. So let me begin by saying that, you know, I know it's not traditional for a roaster to say nice things, but I thought I'd kind of, everybody's having mean-spirited comments, and I just thought it'd be nice to, because, you know, I'm the type of guy, if you don't know me, who I just say what everybody's thinking. That's all. And I just want to say that, Kimmer, you're a swell guy. You're a swell. Really, thank you. Because, no, really, Kimmer, I can't tell you how wonderful it is to have Eric and I have a mentor in the hallways for broadcasting, and Christ, that's great. And all the things you do for Atlanta and America, he really, give it up for the Kimmer, a swell guy. That's my message tonight. I want to thank you. Thank you. It's great to come up here and honor a great American, the Kimmer, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Larry.
Larry from the Regular Guys.